All right, this is the playoffs prediction for the NBA 2020. The playoffs is about to start in 2 days, and I will do this whole bracket, but I'm not gonna be explaining every single round. I'm just gonna be explaining the first round on why I'm picking all those teams. I don't think there's a reason for me to, or I don't think it's good for me to explain every series in detail, even like the second and third round, or like conference finals, because it's probably not gonna happen. I'm not gonna be able to predict every single series, right? Like that's probably not happening unless I get really lucky. So let's get right into it. For the first series, we got the Los Angeles Lakers versus either the Memphis Grizzlies or the Portland Trailblazers. All right, this is my team right here, Los Angeles Lakers. I got the Lakers in four, partly because I'm biased, and but at the same time, I think this is I think even if I look at it objectively, I would probably pick them in four against either Memphis or Portland. Um, my main reason is because Memphis, they've been really bad in the bubble. They're like 1-7. Oh no, they're 2-6, I think, in the bubble, and they lost Jaren Jackson, who was probably their second best player, and their best player is not as good as Lakers' second best player, and I think that alone pretty much sums it up for that series if that happens. But yeah, uh, for Portland. I think Portland has been the most overrated team in the league so far, like especially in the bubble. Like Dame has been lights out. Yes, he's been dropping 40, 60 or 40, 50, 60, whatever it is. He always plays lights out and drops all those points, but they don't play any defense. Um and Dame for the most part has been a defensive liability. Uh I just don't see the Lakers losing to Portland in one game if they keep or if they don't do any defense like that. LeBron and AD will probably combine for like 80 points per game in that series. Um, on top of that, Portland doesn't have any ball movement. They play iso ball for the most part, and they've been exposed in the playoffs for like the last 5 years. They've been exposed. They've been good in the first round sometimes, but whenever they go against higher competition like Golden State, I mean even they even got swept by Pelicans who had really good defense, and that was with Anthony Davis and Drew Holiday. Lakers play really good defense too, and I just don't see Dame going lights out like that against the Lakers. So yeah, I got the Lakers in four. Um, the next one we got the Houston Rockets and Oklahoma City Thunder. This is the series I'm looking forward to the most in the first round. Like maybe after this series actually. Yeah. But I got the Thunder in seven. Um Rockets are missing James Harden. No, not James Harden. They're missing Russell Westbrook. I'm pretty sure he's gonna miss at least 4 games. And uh and Thunder have clear advantage on size with Gallinari, Steven Adams, uh Nerlens Noel. I'm pretty sure I think the Rockets' tallest player was uh Robert Covington probably at 6'7". Whoever like for players that get like making meaningful minutes, I'm pretty sure he's the tallest. And I expect Thunder to take full advantage of that. Thunder can play small as well to match the Rockets kind of, but they can play bigger than yeah, they can play bigger than the Rockets. with that style. I think they're gonna take that advantage on top of Rockets not having Westbrook. So, oh, and one more thing, I do think Chris Paul plays better than James Harden in the playoffs. So yeah, I think that will come down to, if it comes down to that, I think Chris Paul will outplay James Harden and push them past the Rockets. All right. The next series we're talking about is Denver Nuggets and Utah Jazz. I don't see the Jazz putting up much fight against the Nuggets with that much talent. Like, Nuggets already had a lot of youth and talent, and they added more to that basically. Jokic looks like he's better shape than he's ever been. Michael Porter Jr. Is playing like he's gonna be a future star. Uh, like Jazz, man, like we've seen what Jazz can do, and I think they pretty much peaked. Like, they're not getting any better, like since like last year or like the year before with Donovan Mitchell. Like, Donovan Mitchell has been like somewhat disappointing to me on like his pace for improvement. I think he can improve at a faster pace and become a superstar, but so far he hasn't shown me that, and I don't think he will do much against the Nuggets. So I got the Nuggets in five. All right, so the Clippers and Dallas. This is an interesting series, but I think the Clippers will sweep the Mavericks. Doncic has been really bad against Clippers every time they play against them. I don't think he's been able to figure out the defense of Paul George and Kawhi Leonard. And um, if he can't figure that out, like, Dallas had the best offense in the league, but that's not gonna show up in the playoffs when Clippers will for sure slow down the game with Kawhi Leonard, um and if Doncic keeps getting shut out by Kawhi and Paul George, this series will end in four, and that's what I expect to happen. Maybe like Doncic will play like one of those games where, you know, every superstar seems to have that type of game in the playoff debut where they like perform lights out, whether they win or lose, like drop 40 or something, and then put up much fight. And he might get a game like that, but we'll see. We'll see how good he is in the playoffs. But yeah, I don't think they can get a game against the Clippers. Bucks and Magic. Bucks in four. To be honest, I haven't been watching that much of Magic basketball. But I know their best players are Nikola Vucevic and Aaron Gordon. Um, and their best players, that their strength is probably size and like Vucevic's ability to stretch the floor. But Bucks have an answer to every single part of that. Like, they have so much size with like Giannis and Lopez. Giannis can also play the perimeter on defense and pretty much shut down Vucevic. So, and also, I don't think Magic has answer to Bucks' fast break game and Giannis's paint or getting to the paint game. So yeah, I got the Bucks in four. This series, Indiana Pacers and Miami Heat. Uh, I got the Heat in five. Uh, there was some drama going on in the bubble with T.J. Warren and Jimmy Butler, but I don't think that was much of a drama, but more of T.J. Warren getting shut down by Jimmy. And I expect that to continue in the playoffs, and I think it will be an easy series for the Heat. So it'll be five game series, and let's move on to the Boston Celtics and Philadelphia 76ers. Now this is an interesting series. I think this is an upset where Sixers will win in six. Um, I know they're missing. Ben Simmons for the whole playoffs, I think. Yeah, entire playoffs. But but Joel Embiid has been picking it up in the bubble. He's been dominating for sure. And I think if he keeps playing like that, I don't think anybody on the Celtics can deal with that. And um, Jason Tatum will probably play well, but if Embiid plays well, I don't think Celtics can beat him. And the way Embiid has been playing showed me that he can actually dominate. Um, and I think it will continue into the playoffs. So yeah, Sixers and six. Last one, Toronto Raptors and Brooklyn Nets. Raptors in four. Um, yeah, Nets on their last game put up a pretty damn good fight against Trailblazers. They almost won. You know, if Kurt Karras made that point, I really hoped he made it, and the Suns made the play and not the Trailblazers. I think the Suns are a better team. But yeah, that's not. Back to the point. So Raptors have been playing really well in the bubble, and unlike the Blazers, Raptors play defense, and I don't think Karras can go off like that against the Raptors in any of the games. And in the meanwhile, like Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Marcus Gasol, they won championship last year. They had experience going deep into the playoffs, winning championship. I think that experience will also show against Brooklyn's youth. They made the playoffs last year, but they lost in the first round. They don't have that much experience, and yeah, I don't see that much of a fight again in this series at all. So Raptors in four. All right, that was it for the first round. So I'm just gonna fill in the bracket, like kind of like give like one or two reasons why I'm picking these teams, but I'm not gonna go that much detail into these. So let's see. Lakers in six. I think Chris can pull two games against Lakers just because Chris always plays well, like in the playoffs. Like whether they win, whether like his team wins or loses, like it always seems like he puts up some kind of a fight. So I'll give him two games. Um, Clippers against Nuggets. This series is interesting. I don't know how this matchup will go at all. Like this series has so many mystery going on, but I don't think the Clippers will lose to Denver. Um, because at the same time, they have Kawhi Leonard, top three player in the league. I think that's the difference. Denver doesn't have that type of a superstar type player. Like Jokic can become one of those in the playoffs, but I haven't seen enough from him that he can become that playoff type or playoff superstar type player yet. So I got the Clippers in six. Bucks Heat. Oh man, I got the Heat in six, baby. All right, just like last year. Or kind of like last year, how the Raptors exposed the Bucks by like building a wall to block Giannis going into the paint. I think the Heat will do the same thing, and like Jimmy will be that guy, main guy, just kind of like Kawhi. He's not as good as Kawhi, obviously, but I think they can still do it. They still have the same weakness, I feel like, as last year, and Bucks have been exposed lately in the regular season. They're like 4-9 in their last 13 games, like bubble games and like the last 5 games of the regular season combined. So I actually think the Heat will upset in the second round against the Bucks and go to the conference finals. So for this series, yes, I did say uh Embiid Embiid has been dominating, but this team has Marcus Gasol. Embiid's kryptonite. Every time they play, for some reason, Embiid becomes a regular guy. I don't know why. Maybe because Marcus Gasol is actually bigger than Embiid. But I got the Raptors in six. And this one, hmm. Yeah, I think the Raptors will win this series as well because they have more talent than Heat. They have Siakam, Kyle Lowry, Marc Gasol. Like they're former All-Stars, or Siakam is an All-Star, and Kyle Lowry was an All-Star last year, I think, as soon as yeah, as recent as last year. It was either last year or 2 years ago. It has been pretty recent. I think they can still play at an All-Star level. Marc Gasol can play defense at least. So I got the Raptors in five in this one. Oops. Uh, Raptors in five in this one. The Lakers in seven. This is like all bias, honestly. I really hope the Lakers win, but in all honesty, looking at things objectively, I would probably pick the Clippers if I didn't have any bias towards the Lakers. And well, simply because like I think Kawhi is the best player in the league right now. Like LeBron, man. As much as I love LeBron, Kawhi won a championship last year, and I can't ignore that fact. And this year that ranking can change, obviously, if Lakers can beat the Clippers. But for now, I would put the Lakers in seven. And I really hope this series happens and go 7 games either way. But I, yeah, it's the scary series for me, for sure. Because Kawhi is that good. All right. So the Lakers versus Raptors. Lakers in five. Oops. Lakers in five, baby. Um, I don't know why. I just don't think Toronto has that much of a star power. Like none of the Eastern team has star power compared to the Western Conference. I don't think like whoever that comes up from the East, I don't think they have a chance against the Western Conference team. So that was it. That is it for my prediction. And let's see, what is this tiebreaker? Um, yeah, this is the NBA picks challenge thing. I got 12 points on the Raptors. Game one, Lakers will win. All right, that was it for the prediction. So, once first round ends, I think I'll probably make a video to have a more detailed prediction for the second round. And um, yeah, there you go. That was it.